Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker. As always, it's terrific to have you along for the show. And as we get ready for our weekly foray into Washington County High School sports, I'll tell you that coming up on the program, we've got volleyball, cross country, and who knows what else before we're all through. Plus, heroes of the gridiron and our Tony's Pizzeria premier performer. We start with football, and as the second half of football's regular season commenced, agendas were taking on a more narrow focus for our county's teams. Last Friday night in Boonesboro, both the homestanding Warriors and the visiting North Hagerstown Hubs entered their matchup desperate for a win, albeit for different reasons. Boonesboro sought a victory that would push its record 2 games over the 500 mark, while the Hubs just wanted to break into that elusive win column. The Warriors' offense imposed its will right from the start, driving 65 yards in 8 plays to grab a 7-0 lead just 3 minutes and 19 seconds in. Then, on the ensuing kickoff, Corey DeBall recovered his own onside kick at his own 49-yard line. And the Boonesboro O capitalized 8 plays later on Bo Bodenheimer's 6th reception of the season, his 5th for a touchdown. North came in having been outscored 91-0 in the first quarter this season, and with nearly half of this one gone, the Hubs were down 2 scores before they even executed a snap, and they managed just 3 before punting the ball back to Boonesboro. In 5 plays, the Warriors were right back at the edge of the red zone, threatening to add to their lead before Preston Carey plucked Jeff Bennett's pass out of the air and then ran by the quarterback and everyone else to cut the North Hagerstown deficit in half. The Hubs had finally broken through in a first quarter, and amazingly, despite Boonesboro running 25 more plays and gaining 135 more yards, they trailed just 14-7 after this opening period. And the score stayed that way for the next 10 minutes and 41 seconds until Andrew Fiery dumped a 3rd and 18 pass off to Carey, and the speedster turned it into a game-tying 34-yard touchdown. Now tied at 14 in the third quarter, Boonesboro made its first possession of the second half pay off when Chance Thomas bowled into the end zone to put the Warriors back on top for 1 minute and 49 seconds anyway. That's when Calvin Bembry squirted loose on the 3rd play of the ensuing Hub series, and North knotted the proceedings again with 6.5 minutes left in the 3rd. The Warriors worked their way back in front again, though, when Owen Glass capped a 9-play Boonesboro drive, spinning in for his 2nd TD of the night. The Warriors then caught the Hubs napping on a kickoff for the 2nd time, recovering this one at the North 30. 5 plays later, Glass swept to the right to score Boonesboro's 2nd touchdown in less than 2 minutes, increasing the lead to 35-21. The game appeared destined to end that way until the game changer Carey found the left pylon with just 1:15 remaining in regulation. Trailing 35-27, the Hubs' only hope was to execute the very play they had been victimized by twice, an onside kick, and Darius Green came up with Hunter Martin's bouncing attempt to keep their hope alive. After North got all the way to the Boonesboro 7-yard line in 2 plays, the Warriors' D came up huge. First, Devin Griffith, Jared Tribbett, and Isaiah Elzy rallied to force Carey out short of the goal line, and then Tribbett filled the hole to stop Tucker Brew and bring up a 3rd and goal inside the 1. Following a timeout, disaster struck for the Hubs when a low snap resulted in a loose football that Elzy recovered for the Warriors to secure a wild 35-27 victory, the first for Boonesboro over North since 2009. While the Hubs might have come up short in their game, one of them, even in the losing effort, outdistanced all others to capture our weekly honor, the Inside Sports Tony's Pizzeria premier performer. Preston Carey's scintillating defensive play late in the Boonesboro-dominated first quarter provided a momentum swing that injected new life into his team. That 87-yard touchdown was the first of the seniors' 3 on the night. 2 of Carey's 9 offensive touches also resulted in scores, as he totaled 125 yards from scrimmage, averaging 13.9 yards each time he had the ball in his hands. Thanks to his outstanding effort, now he'll get a Tony's Pizza in his hands. Congratulations to North Hagerstown's Preston Carey, this week's Tony's Pizzeria premier performer. Incidentally, relative to the result of the game, Boonesboro heads into this Friday night's game against South with a 4-2 mark, while Carey's Hubs head back home still in search of win number 1 against 2-4 Catoctin. Williamsport knows all too well how difficult it is to defeat the Cougars. The Wildcats entered last Friday without a win against the guys from Thurmont since 2001. Williamsport started well enough this time when it forced and recovered a Catoctin fumble on the second play of the game. That was until play number 3 when the Cats gave the ball right back. But after forcing a Catoctin punt, they righted the ship in 2 fell swoops, with Jordan Stonebreaker first dashing 58 yards to set up touchdown and 2-point runs by Savon Brown that staked Williamsport to an early 8-0 advantage, a lead the defense was up to protecting through the early stages of the second quarter. And the offense added 2 when Brown atoned for an earlier fumble by scooting 74 yards to double the Wildcat cushion. However, on a night Williamsport was attempting to win its 4th in a row for the first time in 5 years, the Cats couldn't sustain their newfound prosperity, yielding 3 straight Cougar scores that took them from 16 up to 4 down by halftime. With Brown out with back spasms, St. John Shoup took over at quarterback to start the second half and promptly did his best Brown impersonation to push Williamsport back in front 24-20. But when the next Wildcat possession ended with a 1-yard punt that handed Catoctin a short field, the Cougars took just 5 plays to cash in and regain the lead. And although Catoctin pounced on the ensuing kickoff, the Williamsport D literally rose up and made a stop to keep the score at 28-24. And despite 2 more opportunities to change it, the Wildcats could not, as Catoctin prevailed over Williamsport for the 13th consecutive time. The Cats will carry a 3-3 mark into this Friday's game against Smithsburg, a school who knows a bit about dominating a series. The Leopards weren't invited to the dance, but they were Clear Springs' homecoming opponent last Friday. Smithsburg came in struggling through a 4-game losing streak, but entered a perfect 10-0 all-time against the Blazers. As for the Blazers, they were just happy not to be playing in the rain. After forcing a Clear Spring 3-and-out, the Leopards seized their historical upper hand just 3 minutes and 43 seconds in. Then just over 3 minutes later, Dylan Curtis matched Bryce Scott's 5-yard run to extend the Smithsburg lead to 14. In need of a fortuitous bounce, Clear Spring got one when Garrett Spinks deflected Henry Eby's pass behind him, and Brandon Blair pulled it in for a 33-yard pickup to the Leopards' 17-yard line. 2 plays later, Joe McCoy was in the end zone, and the Blazers were within 7 points, and it took just 2 more plays of Clear Spring's next possession to get those 7, 6 coming on Blair's touchdown grab. The Blazers had battled back to tie, but failed to take advantage of 2 golden opportunities, an onside kick recovery on the heels of their second TD, and an unsuccessful Smithsburg fake punt inside its own 25 that sent the teams to the half even at 14. Smithsburg appeared on its way to forging back in front until Ben Weller forced a fumble that Colton Aaron recovered to halt the Leopards' opening drive of the third quarter, and the Blazers took the ball away again on Smithsburg's next series on Travis Comer's interception. Unfazed by the errors of their previous 2 series, the Leopards made their third count. Set up by Spinks' burst to the 9-yard line, Scott bulldozed his way in on 3rd and goal from the 1 to put Smithsburg back on top. Nearly 7 minutes later, Scott repeated the feat to the left, and the Leopards led 26-14 with just 2:59 remaining. But Clear Spring didn't quit. Aided by a Smithsburg personal foul penalty, the Blazers pulled to within 5 on Blair's second TD reception of the game with 1:57 left. And although the Leopard offense couldn't finish the deal, the defense did, as Smithsburg escaped with a hard-fought 26-21 victory, its second of the year against 4 losses. Clear Spring also sits at 2-4 and is now 0-3 at home, where the Blazers play Friday night against Berkeley Springs. Hancock showed no ill effects coming off an unexpected week off. The Panthers were on early and often against Rappahannock County last Friday. Jesse Wolford scored his 8th, 9th, and 10th touchdowns of the year, and Noah Teeter contributed his 9th and 10th in a no doubt about it 42-0 rout. The formula for success is an easy one to figure out for Hancock this season. The Panthers have allowed just 30 points in their 3 wins, but have given up 69 in their 2 losses. Hancock is back in action Saturday against Seed Academy. St. James was on the road last Saturday at Flint Hill, a school that has had the Saints' number. That number was up to 8, as in consecutive losses to the Huskies, and St. James went to Oakton, Virginia, intent on changing that. Unfortunately for the Saints, it changed, but not the way they had hoped. They outscored Flint Hill 19-16 in the second half, but the Huskies did enough damage in the first half to overcome another outstanding passing performance by St. James quarterback Tyler Raymond. Raymond threw for 4 more scores, but Flint Hill simply scored more in handing the Saints their second straight loss and 9th in succession in the series, 43-26. And the task doesn't get any easier at home this Saturday for the Saints against 5-0 Sidwell Friends. A goose egg in the loss column? 2 guys who can say that they know just what that's like. South Hagerstown's Miles Greenwood and Cole Stotler, fresh off the Rebels' 14th regular season triumph in a row. Join me to talk about it. The green and white clad heroes of the gridiron are right here when you come back.
Wanna be one, number one, it's gotta be fun. Wanna be one, number one, it's gotta be fun. Punch it, kick it, giving it all. Premier martial arts helps take it to the top, y'all. Jab, cross, hook, kick, you feel it when we stick it. Wanna be one, winner, yeah, I won. I'm premier, number one. Wanna be number one, kids? Have your parents call.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer, and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. We'll continue with more football now, and the guys who have really epitomized winning football this season, the South Hagerstown Rebels. I'm joined by 2 of them now, Miles Greenwood and Cole Stotler. Welcome to the show, guys. Great to have you here this week, coming off a 42-8 win over Brunswick. Good way to spend homecoming and kind of get things going, Miles. And, you know, in that particular game, you jump on Brunswick early in the football game, and boy, they just kept trying those onside kicks, didn't they?
Yeah.
What was up with that? I mean, if it doesn't work the first time or the second time, they try it a third time.
I don't know, probably just to get us off our feet, but I guess from the week of preparing, I just guess we were ready.
Yeah, obviously so, because they didn't recover any of those. And how important is it in a game like that, especially with homecoming where there are some distractions that go along with the football game, to get off to a good start like you guys did?
A good start can lead to an even better ending. So if we can start with, since we started off good, we could kind of try and keep the pace of us going good and trying to keep the right attitude that we want.
And Cole, this season with South Hagerstown, I mean, 6-0 right now. Things really trending in the right direction, have been for the last several years at South. And with the way that this season's going, you know, Miles mentions a little bit about, you know, the starts to the games and how important they are. But how about the tempo with which you guys play, especially when you're facing a team like Brunswick who wants to control the football? When you get the football, a lot of quick scores in that game, but as an offense, what are you trying to do tempo-wise?
I guess just whatever. Like, it's flowing with how the game is, how we want to call it or anything.
But it's nice for you guys to be able to sort of dictate that a little bit on offense. You have so many explosive weapons, though, that you're able to get big chunks of yardage on a lot of different plays.
I guess really depends on how the opponents or defense is working. If they're strong, heavy for the run, then we're going to.
That's been a great weapon for you guys this year, the balance within the offense itself, with being able to throw and run the ball, and even running from the quarterback position. And on offense this year, you've been one of the key figures in terms of catching the football. Talk a little bit about your role within that offense, because there are so many players who are involved.
Really, I just do whatever we need to do as a team. I just don't look to be selfish or anything. So I just see what can I do to make my team better or anything.
And Miles, would you agree that is what has made this team so successful, the fact that you are so team-oriented?
Yes, like throughout the first couple weeks, most of our players realize what role they have and what role they play. So within the strong games that we've had, our players realize, like, okay, my role is to do this, so I'm going to do this to help the person next to me out. So if the person next to me helps me, I help them out, they can help me out, and then that's how we all, like, help each other out.
And that certainly has contributed to just how good this South Hagerstown team has been. And when you look at the numbers, they're pretty astounding. 44.5 points per game, 39 touchdowns. That's 6.5 touchdowns per game. Cole, what's been the secret to this offense working so well? I mean, what do you see as being the key to the way the offense has been able to put points on the board?
Just basically getting better every day at practice, whatever it takes. Like our theme, our motto to this year is surrender and all. Like surrender all, everything you got on the field, and then you see how it worked. Just basically just getting better every day is what we came up with.
It's been a true commitment to that. There's no question about it. And on the defensive side, holding teams to 13.3 points per game, 8 or fewer points allowed in 3 of the games this season. Miles, how much better can this team get? Because you do talk about getting better each and every day, which you've seen that happen. But how much better can this team be?
I mean, I think there's no stop to us getting better. So with that being said, like practice, we're gonna compete. We're gonna fight each other, go into the whistles blown, and just try and beat the next man. So our bond gets stronger, and then whoever we face Friday it's easy.
Defensively, we talked about it a little bit, just how stout this defense has been. But 11 interceptions this season, almost 2 per game. Cole, you've picked off 3 passes so far this season. What's going on with that secondary that you're able to play that well and just shut down the other team's passing game? Because that's essentially what you've done this year.
Probably, like, we all have a feel for each other and we all know where each other are. And in practice, we practice how we're going to play, so we already are in that every day, each and every day for practice. And basically, we just go out and do what we're coached to do, and do simply that's it. And then our coaches put us in the right position.
Does it ever amaze you just how successful this team is? And the reason that I say that is when I talked to Coach Pierre before the year, he said, defensively, I'm just looking for some guys to get out there, run to the football, make some plays. Well, that's really putting it at the most basic level. But what you guys have been able to do, it's been amazing. Again, you can go back to the numbers there, but from the standpoint of somebody who's on the team, is it surprising, amazing? I mean, how would you characterize the way you guys have played?
It kind of is amazing how we have each and every week, you see that we get better and everything. So I think it is really amazing how well we all can go out there and play and have a feel for each other, know exactly where each other's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a great thing to watch too. I mean, 14 regular season victories in a row now, and I know you guys have much bigger things on your mind, but you take it one game at a time. I hear a lot of the coach coming out and what you guys have said here. Certainly appreciate you being here today. Best of luck against Boonesboro coming up on Friday and the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be back right after this. Inside Sports continues in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Since 1963, you've been trusting the folks at Hagerstown Floors. It's still a family-owned and operated business featuring a variety of high-quality flooring choices for your home, like carpet, ceramic, hardwood, vinyl, and we offer floor sanding and refinishing for your existing hardwoods. And you'll find us stocked warehouse, full of flooring options for do-it-yourselfers, or take advantage of our in-house installers for expert installation. Hagerstown Floors on Virginia Avenue in Hagerstown, the trusted name in flooring since 1963.
Wanna be one, number one, it's gotta be fun. Wanna be one, number one, it's gotta be fun. Punch it, kick it, giving it all. Premier Martial Arts helps take it to the top, y'all. Jab, cross, hook, kick, you feel it when we stick it. Wanna be one, winner, yeah, I won. I'm Premier, number one. Wanna be number one, kids? Have your parents call.
Welcome back to the show. We continue now with golf, and we just don't have enough golf on the show. Coach Tyler Fairley from Smithsburg joins me. Coach, actually, I was told years ago by somebody who used to be on this show that golf coaches really don't matter in high school. Is that true?
To an extent, yes. There are rules in the Maryland State regulations prohibiting actual coaching during a match or a tournament. So technically, yes, during a match, the coaches are not allowed to coach.
Right.
And it's the only sport in high school where the coaches are not allowed to coach in high school golf.
Yeah, well, of course, I say that facetiously, and certainly you have something to do with making a team better as the season goes along. There's no question about that. And as far as Smithsburg this year, it's your second year there, second full year, and I would classify this as a very successful year for Smithsburg golf. Would you concur with that, with 3 players qualifying for states?
Most definitely. It's the polar opposite from last year. This team is outperforming expectations. They're surprising a lot of people. Right now our record's 37-5, counting into all the tournaments we've played so far. They're just outperforming. They're doing a great job right now.
What's your level of satisfaction with the kids that you have this year?
Through the roof. They make it easy. It's fun to watch. Whenever you got a group of kids that knows the game, it just takes a little tweaking and practice here and there to get them where they need to be and in the right mindset. It's fun to watch. Just let them go play.
Now, you nearly qualified a team for states, missed by just 2 strokes, as it turned out. 330 is what Smithsburg carded, needed a 328. That was a little bit of a disappointment, I'm sure, but then turn around not long after that, go to the county championship, and Smithsburg prevails there by 11 strokes over a North Hagerstown team who had really been dominant within counties, having won the last 4. What does that do for your team to win a county championship like that?
I think it's a huge morale boost. I think the kids knew they had a chance, and they went out and they played their game. They all reached their potential that day, and 11 strokes, that's a big margin at Fountainhead, where it's a tough course. Our freshman Brett Bale went out and shot a 76, 41-35, went 1 under on the back 9. And for a 15-year-old freshman, that's phenomenal.
Did you see that coming from him this year when he came in and the season began? Did you see that was something that he could do?
Right out of the gate, he shot a 37 down at Frederick Clustered Spires, and that was with a couple of bogeys on his card, with 3 birdies, I think. I've been told that he'd been a golfer his whole life. He plays almost every day throughout the summer, and I think he's going to be a force throughout the next 3 years of his career.
Well, let's talk about somebody who's coming to the end of his career in Jordan Tapley. He gets to go to states this year. Talk a little bit about how he's performed this season for you. Certainly has to be a leader on this team.
He's a junior this year. He has 1 more year of high school eligibility. But, of course, he's a huge player on the team. Morale, he's always fun to be around. He keeps the practices very lighthearted, hits the ball a mile. He's very long, hits 4-iron like 205, 210. He's long. We're just looking for consistency out of him. And at districts, he gave it to him to get him to districts.
And this year, when you look at the county as a whole, and we talk about state qualifiers, Alden Grosh also qualifying for you, but let's talk a little bit about the county as a whole. To get a double-digit number of qualifiers for states, I'm not sure that's happened in a while. Give me sort of an overview of the county as far as golf is related, as you see it, kind of a state of the county for golf through your eyes.
Right now in the county and the district that ultimately qualifies for states, it's a strong district and a strong county. Whenever you got Kyle Kearns at Hancock, being a senior up there, he qualified last year, able to qualify again this year. Boonesboro's got a very solid program with Tyler Olson and Sydney Alexander. And of course, anytime you can qualify a team to states like North High sending 4 kids, that helps the numbers too. This district here in Maryland has a very strong group of golfers.
And how important is it to establish a tradition like North Hagerstown has, a winning tradition over the last several years? I'm sure that's what you're attempting to do at Smithsburg. How important is it to sort of set that foundation for the kids to come after that and to just make things stronger?
I think it's huge because golf is often overlooked in high school sports. Usually when you're a freshman coming in, there's a golf team? I never knew that. It doesn't get a lot of the big Friday night lights like football gets, or volleyball, a lot of attention there, or basketball even. So for a golf program to be successful year after year, that just allows more kids to be exposed to it, to maybe go out to Yinglings and hit some balls over there, and really just be exposed to the game and say, you know what, I want to be part of a winning program. Smithsburg had that for a number of years before I was able to take over. We're trying to get them back to that prominence.
So you have the MVAL meet coming up this Friday at Black Rock. And then, of course, state's coming up. I believe that's a week from this coming Monday. It all begins at University of Maryland. Best of luck to your golfers, all the county golfers there. And thanks so much for coming in today and sharing a little of your knowledge. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it. That is Coach Tyler Fairley from Smithsburg talking about golf. I'm back right after this. I've got some volleyball and cross country before we're through in just a minute.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer, and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Since 1963, you've been trusting the folks at Hagerstown Floors. It's still a family-owned and operated business featuring a variety of high-quality flooring choices for your home, like carpet, ceramic, hardwood, vinyl, and we offer floor sanding and refinishing for your existing hardwoods. And you'll find us stocked warehouse, full of flooring options for do-it-yourselfers, or take advantage of our in-house installers for expert installation. Hagerstown Floors on Virginia Avenue in Hagerstown, the trusted name in flooring since 1963.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. The marquee match of the county's volleyball regular season took place last Thursday at Hub Arena as North Hagerstown played host to undefeated Smithsburg. The Leopards looked as though their unblemished record would become a distant memory early on. North powered its way to a convincing 25-16 opening set win on the strength of Zoe Schreiber's play, not just at the net, but also from the service line. Schreiber served 8 straight winners that put the Hubs ahead to stay. North kept right on rolling in the second set. Tana McKenzie, who ended the night with 51 assists, not only set up Schreiber, who pounded down 8 of her match-high 28 kills in the game, but also Jayla Bell, who complimented Schreiber's play up front, recording some big swings of her own. The result was a 2-0 advantage for North. But Smithsburg didn't come in 10-0 for no reason, and on the brink of getting swept out of the gym, the Leopards found the resolve to show the heart that had contributed to their perfect start to the season. Smithsburg extended a back-and-forth third set beyond regulation thanks to a total team effort that included important points from Holly Winders and then Elena Black, who was starting to assert herself against North's big hitters. The Leopards not only survived at 28-26, but looked confident and determined heading into Game 4. Trailing 19-18, Smithsburg seized control on the strength of the Peyton Balella to Black combination. 4 of Black's team-high 25 kills came in the final 7 points of the set as the Leopards prevailed 25-21 to send the match to a 5th and deciding game. Riding some serious momentum, Smithsburg had the reeling Hubs on their heels and held an 8-7 edge until Kalia Frost entered the fray, that is. Frost registered 4 consecutive critical points to vault the Hubs in front 11-8. From there, Bell added her 16th and final kill of the night. Moments before diminutive Alexis McCarthy's kill finished off North's 5-set victory 15-10 in the 5th. While the Hubs dug down deep to emerge victorious and more than likely capture a 3rd consecutive MVAL Antietam Conference title, the Leopards felt pretty good about making North sweat. After all, the Hubs have been forced to play beyond 3 sets just once in their previous 8 wins. Class 3A North Hagerstown finishes its regular season next Tuesday, and 1A Smithsburg concludes its campaign next Thursday in advance of the state playoff draw a week from next Monday. Last Saturday heralded the inaugural Wildcat Cross Country Invitational at Williamsport. The brainchild of Cats head coach Matt Shriver turned into a case of what's new is old. The event became another course scalp added to the collection of Boonesboro's Haley Wright. Wright raced to her 7th win of the season in 7 outings to take the girls' individual title. Team honors went to Smithsburg, who placed 5 runners in the top 16. Boonesboro was the highest county finisher in the boys' race, 31 points behind champion Poolesville and 11 behind second place Winters Mill. The MVAL championships are coming up this Friday at Boonesboro. Ahead next week on the show, the state soccer draws, Week 7's football. Speaking of which, the Antietam Cable crew, Coach Kellick and I will be in Williamsport Friday night for the Smithsburg game you'll be able to see right here on Channel 30 next week. Can't wait to climb that scaffolding again. I don't advise trying that at home. The coach and I are trained professionals. As for the show, thanks for watching this time, and I look forward to seeing you next time on The Inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets. Hey, don't complain to mother, they hiding under color, you gotta get up.